Uranium. For the crime of attempting to break the law of conservation of mass, I sentence you to house arrest. With Xenon. Yuri, you'd be better off in jail. Silence! Contempt of court. For that outburst, Missy Ruthenium, I sentence you to serve time with your brother, listening to Xenon lecture on scientific law. But Judge Iron, Your Honor... And Xenon, the court is well aware that you're a gas sometimes used in anesthesia, and therefore the court reminds you to not allow these two to sleep during your lecture.
Understood, Your Honor.
You're dismissed.
Xenon, can I tag along?
Of course, Zink. And Yuri, remind me, how did we get here?
Well, I had started a flower garden, but they weren't growing well. I thought maybe the little buds weren't warm enough, so I lit a propane heater next to them. But the propane disappeared just as a cop pulled up, and I told him the propane atoms had vanished. And he said I was a liar, that wasn't possible, and then he wrote me a ticket, and I don't know what I did wrong. I'm so confused.
Did you ever think about watering those flowers, Yuri?
I didn't realize you lived this close to the courthouse, Xenon.
It's rather convenient when my friends get into trouble. Or my students.
What kind of school do you teach at?
Oh, typical college student shenanigans. Now, you three have a seat. By coincidence, I've been prepping my Chemistry 101 students on scientific laws and balancing chemical equations.
Gosh, Xenon, that is such a lucky coincidence.
We are lucky, 'cause we're not in jail.
Propane's chemical formula is C3H8. Do any of you know what those numbers mean?
Oh yeah, they're subscripts, right? We talked about this once. That means each molecule of propane has 3 atoms of carbon and 8 atoms of hydrogen.
Marvelous! Since propane is a gas, we add a letter G next to it in parentheses. Now, nothing can burn without the presence of oxygen.
I'll get it. Oh, hi, Oxygen. What brings you here?
Bonjour. I was passing by and heard you talking about moi. Did you need me to help you burn something?
Not at the moment, Oxygen, but perhaps you can help us in a bit. Again, methane and anything else that's flammable can only burn in the presence of diatomic oxygen gas, O2.
Oui, oui. Moi and my twin brother.
Of course, and like any combustion reaction, our reactants will include a substance that contains both carbon and hydrogen. And in the end, we're left with products that include carbon dioxide gas and water vapor. Now, who can tell me, what's wrong with this chemical equation?
It isn't balanced.
We need coefficients. There is not enough of moi to properly do the job of burning propane.
Correct. Without the right coefficients, our proportions will be wrong and we won't be able to follow the law of conservation of mass.
Yeah, well, my brother's a criminal, so what do you expect?
I'm sure it was inadvertent, Yuri. You told the police officer that all the atoms in your propane tank had vanished, but that's impossible. They merely rearranged themselves. The law of conservation of mass, or matter, states that matter can neither be created nor destroyed. It only changes forms. We illustrate this every time we have a balanced chemical equation.
This one isn't balanced yet, but I think we need to look for common factors, then change the coefficients accordingly, but not the subscripts. 8 shares a common factor with 2, for example.
Brilliant! Zinc, would you like to try to balance it?
Since we have 8 atoms of hydrogen and propane on the reactant side, we'll need at least 8 on the product side, so let's add a coefficient of 4 to our H2O, because 4 times 2 equals 8. And we have 3 atoms of carbon in our propane, so let's add a coefficient of 3 to our CO2, and...
Your coefficients multiply everything in the compound. Since you have 4 atoms of more in the H2O and 6 in your 3 molecules of CO2, that equals 10 of more. 2 is a factor of 10.
Oh, yeah. Thanks, oxygen. No coefficient for our propane because there's only one. And I think we're balanced.
I believe so, Zinc. 3 portions of carbon on the left, 3 on the right. 8 portions of hydrogen on our reactant side, 8 on our product side, and 10 portions of oxygen on each side. It's a balanced chemical equation.
So you see, Yuri, the atoms of your propane didn't vanish. They just combined with oxygen from the air to form new molecules. And some of those molecules, like CO2, are invisible gases always in the air around us.
When I get bored, I get sleepy.
Ruth, the judge said no sleeping. Let's have you get up and try one. The likely problem with Yuri's flowers is that they were unable to properly photosynthesize. Without the right portion of reactants, the products for photosynthesis can't be made, and the law of conservation of mass, any well-balanced chemical equation, explains this.
So in theory, my brother's criminal activity killed his flowers. He's a murderer.
That would be a hypothesis, not a theory. A hypothesis is an educated guess that can only become a theory after it's well tested.
Oui, oui. And a theory, after being confirmed by countless scientists over many decades, becomes a law.
Yes, scientific laws have failed to be disproved. Ruth, time to get balancing.
This is confusing. Doesn't the L mean leader and the S mean second?
When written in parentheses in a chemical equation, they stand for liquid and solid.
So I need to look for common factors. 12, 6, and 2 all share the common factor of 2, right?
Fantastic, Ruth.
I guess we need a coefficient of 6 in front of the CO2 on the reactant side to match the 6 on our product side, and 6 times 2 is 12. So we need a 6 in front of the H2O, and I guess just one C6H12O6, and
That is more. In between, again at the end, you must add 6 of us, because there are 18 total of us on the left. 18 minus 6 in the C6H12O6 means you need 12 more of more, or 6 pairs of oxygen twins.
Ruth, brilliant. But you can erase the 1 in front of C6H12O6 because when there's no coefficient, we presume there's only 1.
you're always a critic, Xenon.
H2O is water, right?
That's right.
And we always have CO2 in the air around us, no matter what.
Correct, Yuri.
Now I know how to save my flowers. They don't need propane, they need water.
Mass can't be created nor destroyed. This is a law we cannot avoid. When substance shifts and bonds are made, well, atoms rearrange but never fade. It's the law.
That's right, bro.
Don't break the law. It's the law.
Conservation of mass is a beautiful law.
Don't break the law. Chemical equations, ordinance, reactants and products in balance. Atoms at the start don't go away. They rearrange, but they never do stray. Equality, it rules the day. Atoms just don't run away. Atoms we start with, that's where we end. Conserve, it's the law, it would not bend. It's the law.
That is the truth.
Yup. Don't break the law. It's the law. Yeah, man, it's the law. That's the way it is. That's the way it's going to be. Don't break the law.
Don't fight it.
Plasma 2, liquid right, Mon. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Don't break the law. It's the law.
It's impossible to break.
Don't break the law. It's the law.
You better not even think about it.
Don't break
think
the
about it.
law. It's the law.
I've learned my lesson.
Don't
I think
break
we
the
better get out of here.
It's the law.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that beautiful bell.
And check out our channel for more links, including free educational resources.
And our social media links.